I'm Eric Joseph, and this is Blues 101. Today we're going to be covering blues in E. We're going to cover the chords. I might throw a little riff in there, here and there. But what we're going to do is we're going to do 12-bar blues in E. The three chords you're going to use are the E, A, and B. Specifically, they'll be dominant seventh chords. So E dominant seventh, A dominant seventh, and B dominant seventh. We'll also do some inversions and different voicings for those as well. So we'll be touching on some 13ths and some 9th chords as well. So we're going to get started here. The first chord we're going to use, we're going to be playing this blues in open position for most of it, is the E 7th chord. So if we could take a look at that E 7th chord. And the E 7th chord sounds like this. Okay. So the way we're going to finger that, if we take a look up at the fretboard, open E, the low open E is going to be played, as well as the high open E. So those are just open, the two outside strings. Next, we're going to put our second finger on the A string at the B note, or the second fret. The next string, which is the D string, is open. So far we have. And then we put our first finger on the first fret of the G string, and that is going to be the A flat. The next two strings, the B and the E, are both open. And down on the picking hand for an open bar chord is real simple. So basically, you're going to be playing every single string. But if you want to kind of add some dynamic to that, you want to make sure you use what's called the palm mute. And basically, your outside of your palm is resting down near the bridge, and it's muting the strings. Because if you just strum that without that palm mute, it's not real pretty. So you use that technique in conjunction with back up here on the fret hand. I also do fret release mutes. So I'm actually releasing. So you can use a combination of those or one or the other, however you like to do that. So the next chord we're going to do is the A 7th, and then we'll put those two together. So the next one's the A 7th, and what we omit on the A 7th, we're going to omit that low E string, so we're not going to play this guy here. But the A 7th chord is your low A string all the way up to the top. Okay, so you're playing all those. So it's open A. Then you put your second finger on the second fret of the D string. That's the E note. You play the G string open. You put your third finger on the second fret of the B string, and that's a D flat or a C sharp. And then you play the high E open. Okay. And now this one's a little bit more tricky. As you start removing strings from your chord with your your picking hand, you want to omit those as well. So I'm not going to play this low E string. Back to the E. So let's just play a couple measures of that E to A change. We'll do the short change or quick change, and that is one measure of E, a measure of A, then two measures of E, two measures of A, and then back to E. So I'll play through that real quick. The last chord in this open position is going to round off the whole song. It's part of the bridge, and it's part of the turnaround and ending of the chord progression. So the third chord in that is the fifth of the scale, and it is the B7th chord. For the B7th chord, it's pretty similar in which strings you're going to play to the A7th chord. Again, we're going to omit the low E. But let's bring up the graphic for that B7. And we're just going to play those middle four strings. So on the fret hand, your second finger is going to be on the second fret of the A string, and that gives you the B, the root of the chord. Your first finger is going to be on the first fret of the D string, and that's going to be an E flat. Your third finger is going to be on the second fret of the G string, and that's an A. And then finally, you're going to play an open B, and we're back to the root. So down here on our picking hand, you'll notice I'm not going to play those E strings. Okay, let's go ahead and play through the progression so you can kind of hear it in all its glory, and then you'll hear where we're going from start to finish. So this time after we get back to the E, we're going to go into the bridge section. That's going to start on the B for one measure, go to A for one measure, and then we're going to do a half a measure of the E, A, E, and back to B. So let me play through that. So that kind of rounds that off. So when we come back, we'll do some inversions of those chords and different voicings. We still have the 9th chords and 13th chords coming up, so we'll see you in a little bit.